Oh, it is working. Everyone have a seat. Find your seats. Okay, if your logo is on the board,
on here.
On here, can you come up? With Amit.
Oh, he's hiding.
See, I don't know why you're hiding. Nor?
Nor is she here?
Ari?
There we go.
Why'd you call roll?
I think you did, don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
That's the other
Kiana, you can't even talk today.
All right, I got you.
Come on, who else?
I think we got
everyone. Come on down, the price is right. Yeah.
Oh, is this for a photograph?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody got it. And you're the guy.
All right, let's see. You're in the dark. You guys are in the light.
So all the sponsors.
We're gonna try to make it work.
Where the good light is.
Oh, okay, there we go. Fine.
Thank you. Jonathan. And then Mark.
What about those?
One per.
What about those guys? Are they hiding over there?
One per logo. Yeah.
Here we go. Wide angle?
No.
You got it.
One per logo.
One per logo.
It's like a wedding photo, guys.
All right, let me know when you're all up there. Is this everybody?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to do 2 flash and then a couple without. We'll start with. Hi, everybody. All right, flash off. Make sure I got it. My teeth, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
All right. So stay. Jonathan, come over. And then everybody else, we're gonna take photos later. But what I wanted to do is, first things first, my name is Catherine Rhee, and I'm with the VCPE groups and partner with Jonathan here. Where's Jonathan?
I'm coming.
Hi. And I just want to say thank you for coming. I just want to say this was a long time work every day to get all of you guys here in one room, but also for all of these sponsors to help us out and make this possible. So thank you. Just wanted to make a quick announcement that I'm going to launch an accelerator with Jonathan. It's going to be called ECVC next year. So I need all the support from all of you guys as mentors, advisors, IC, sponsors. And so would love your feedback. Come talk to me later. But I just want to say thank you again for coming. Jonathan?
Thank you, everyone. So we're really happy happy you all came. You know, the second day of LA Tech Week. We're really excited to share with you some great panelists, some great pitches later. It's gonna be fun. That's all it is. All right. So hope everyone has a great time. Kat, do we on these things?
Yeah, we're gonna do an elevator pitch later, but you guys get 10 seconds to introduce yourselves. Mark? No, Mark. You want to come
There's a microphone behind us. So it's
Yeah.
easy. We don't all come here.
No, I want to learn this.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Noor, and I'm part of Sidecar. So we provide SPV and fund creation and management platform. So everything from banking to legal to compliance is all built into our platform so that investors can focus on what they do best, finding great founders and building relationships. So yeah, if you're interested, if you're an investor yourself or interested in running an SPV anytime soon, definitely come find me.
Thank you, Noah.
I'm Amit Singh from DENTONS. DENTONS is the largest law firm in the world. We've got 12,000 lawyers in 80-something countries. I lead our corporate practice on the West Coast. I do mostly mergers and acquisitions and venture capital.
And he's the coolest one. He's first.
Hey everybody, I'm Kiana. I'm with Flex or FLEX.ONE. We are a fintech company. It's a all-in-one platform that has credit and banking, so help companies grow and scale. I'm here with Jay and another colleague, Matt, so come find us and we can
Jay,
talk. Yeah, Jay will be one of the judges.
later.
I just wanted to start by giving a huge shout out to Kat for putting this together. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kat. My name is Ari. I'm with Lone Cypress of Raymond James. We do wealth management for private clients, high net worth individuals and investors, and we can help you with all of your financial needs. Come and talk to us about how we can help you.
I'm Chris Kaufman with HCVT. It's the professional services CPA firm, the largest one that's actually headquartered in Los Angeles. So all important decisions get made here, not some ivory tower in some other city. We've got about 800 plus personnel. We've got about 75 partners, audit, tax, M&A, advisory, across all kinds of different industries, but most importantly, tech, which is why I'm standing up here, because that's been my historical focus. Excited to be a sponsor, and I've got colleagues in the room as well, a few rows back, and glad to be here.
Thank you. Mark from The Well. Come on, Stephen. Stephen actually just landed here from Boston, and congrats. He just, his wife was able to let him go because they just had a second baby weeks ago. So I'll let him do the introduction.
The Well is a members-based organization that brings together founders and investors at highly curated events, much like this. We focus on mentorship, education, and access. And we have a focus on the CPG, consumer packaged goods space, and the wellness space. And I'm delighted to have with us Neera. Oh, here, actually.
Neera.
Hi, I'm Neera, probably voted. Nice to see you all.
Patrick Pan, it's a pleasure. I'm based here in Culver City, just next door.
This is Will Yahweh Parsons. I live in Riverside. And Peter Darrow's in the crowd with Happy Wellness Consulting, also putting a great event on tomorrow. Glad to have him as a co-founder. And then, of course, Mark Nguyen, who's our first amongst equals, the leader of our group, who has made so much of what we do possible and has made so much of what everyone in this room is trying to accomplish possible in conjunction with Kat and Jonathan. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, you may be dismissed. Thank you. But you get a hall pass for later. So I just want you to, this is going to go really fast with the panels. We have very distinguished panels. Slide. There you go. So as you can see, they're all here, the panelists. I want you to give a warm welcome to Gerod. He's our moderator.
All
All right, everyone. LA Tech Week. I'm excited. I guess I'll introduce myself and I'll bring up the panelists. I'm with SENTA Ventures. I'm actually the East Coast guy, and my partner, Serhat. Where are you, buddy? Serhat's in LA. And so SENTA Ventures invests internationally in areas where deep tech intersects with industrial problems. And that includes industries such as transportation, logistics, energy, the energy transition, food and agriculture. And we're really excited about things like AI, new manufacturing processes, new materials, and how they're being used. A lot of the way that these are being used to make these industries more productive, but also help to solve the climate crisis. And yeah, I'm based in South Florida, so I'm kind of in the California of Florida, Juno Beach. And I know you guys, there's a Florida of California too in Orange County. I know it's. So without further ado, I'll introduce my my fellow panelists. I guess why don't we just start from the top and then work our way through. So Alessandro Stella with TikTok.
Yes.
Samir Mahta with IBM. I'll be able to handle the order. Paige Fox with Google. Elizabeth Hutton with CISCO. And Paige Eldrige with Inclusive Ventures. So what I want to do is we got a good mix of people with from different disciplines. A couple of which are actually practitioners in those disciplines. We're going to start with specifically around AI, and instead of just people talking about AI, these are two people that are doing real things with AI. And because they're doing real things with AI, they got to be careful about what they say they're doing with AI. But they're ready to talk about that. We're going to start with Elizabeth, and so Elizabeth, why don't you give a little bit about your background and what you do at CISCO and talk about like what you guys are doing around the future of work and collaboration at CISCO.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Elizabeth. I'm a machine learning engineer at CISCO. I have almost a decade of research and industry experience in machine learning. My emphasis is on natural language processing with expertise in all things LLMs. So most of the work that I've done at CISCO has been around large language models. Built out several enterprise AI solutions from scratch for the collaboration products at CISCO. So things like the contact center, WebEx meetings. If you've used WebEx meetings recently, you may have noticed there's a new AI assistant there that will answer questions in your meeting. It'll also capture notes, action items, and automatically chapterize your meeting recording once it's finished. So that's a project that I worked on recently. And my most recent focus has been on how do we actually evaluate these LLM-based features. It's a non-trivial task in machine learning, and one that everybody's trying to solve with mixed success. But it's a really interesting problem to be working on, and I think it's really critical to basically, the evaluation is a blocker to widespread adoption of LLMs, especially at an enterprise scale, where you really need to trust that it's doing what you want it to do and that you understand its behavior before you deploy these things at scale. So that's some of my most recent focus, but we have some exciting things planned around, agentic AI, other large language model applications that hopefully I can talk a little bit about.
I want to ask you about a little bit more about that in a bit. And Paige, to follow up on that, and I know Google tends to be rather closed about what you can share, but if you get a little bit of what you're doing, but also to follow up on what Elizabeth's saying about adoption of AI and your thoughts on, does the general public really, in the last, since ChatGPT kind of went public, it became, now everyone knows and everyone's playing with it, but do you feel like that the general public really has a good understanding of what, what's real, what's not, and what's possible? start with you, just a little bit about your role at Google. And then go on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work on Google Gemini. I was one of the founding engineers on that originally. I came in from intent generation and search query understanding. Prior to that, I did machine intelligence for the Photos product. And yeah, I wish I could say a little more about what we're doing there. Google is extremely tight-lipped about it, but to answer your question, no. I don't think literacy on LLMs is particularly high. I think it's, you know, an amazing technology that's capable of doing really amazing things. I hear a lot of things in the public that feel a lot like mysticism a little bit. And I often will help people, especially like friends or colleagues who are trying to say, like, what if I apply an LLM to do this? It's often the conversation will go along the lines of, you know, that's not really something that an LLM is well suited for. You're going to spend a lot of money. It's going to be very slow. It's not going to work for your customers. I also think that there's a lot of misunderstanding around LLM's ability to reason. I think LLMs are great at reasoning tasks, but they don't really reason per se. I think that there's a difference between doing things like in-context learning, which, you know, many people recognize as prompt engineering, versus doing retraining, and how do you actually get good data, and how do you maintain it, how do you make sure it's truthful, how do you integrate a RAG architecture, and that sort of thing. I think these are all things that are really sophisticated and really complicated problems that you don't really want to just solve with, like, or you could just have an LLM do it and, you know, not do anything on top of it.
I have personal experience that trying to do a RAG for what we do, because I think it's lots of potential. We have a lot of good information internally that I think we could make sense of and use, but I haven't found anything to get me to the point where we can actually use it productively. So, and I want to, in a second, I'm going to want to get back to kind of beyond just the LLM as a blunt force tool. I want to get into some of the other use cases that you want to talk about. Samir, from the enterprise point of view, so tell me about, you got IBM probably more than most companies in the tech industry, works with some of the largest enterprises in the world. And you guys see what's like where they're playing and where they're doing real work. Can you share some of that? Just what do you do at IBM? And then we're going to get back a little bit more on what you do, but as a follow-up to the AI thing.
Yeah, so I've been with IBM about 18 years since they bought a company I was with down in Costa Mesa called FileNet. And I've been in merger and acquisition for about the last 12 years and worked, you know, on a number of acquisitions we've done, primarily in enterprise software. So, you know, we buy companies every month, every year, consistent with an acquisition budget that we have of about $4 billion on average per year, give or take. But I would say, you know, in this sort of AI space, you know, we look at it in terms of we think of ourselves as client zero. So especially when the generative AI technologies, you know, start to come around the last few years, we've been trying to use our own technology we developed, which we call watsonx, initially around, you know, a studio where our clients can use any LLMs that they want. We have our own LLM called Granite. We support Llama, we support Mistral, we support, you know, most of the major LLMs, because we are very big believers that customers need choice. They need to decide what's best for them, and their data is their data. So we have really, you know, committed to making sure, you know, we won't do anything that can impact their business in terms of them managing their data and keeping their data and their models the way that they want it. And then a number of years ago, we bought Red Hat, if you're familiar with Red Hat, in the open source arena. So we're very big believers in open source. So we've invested in Hugging Face, and we continue to open source, you know, the LLMs and the technologies that we deliver, because we think open source is a really nice addition to some of the closed models out there, and it benefits all clients and all developers. But, you know, so we look at it in terms of what can we deliver, but then we also look at it from an organic perspective. What are the things that we can do to accelerate our product line through acquisition? And I would say the first few use cases that we used it as well internally were around HR. So the whole onboarding of new employees, offboarding of, you know, employees that are leaving or retiring,
We have our own assistants. So what we try to do is really make it easy for employees to find information using questions, intuitive questions. How do I return my laptop? How do I order a new laptop? Things like that. And really focus on the internal use cases that aren't client facing initially to really prove that the technology works and, kind of learn from that. So HR has been a really great example of how we can be more efficient internally and help our HR teams be focused on higher value added things for our employees. Then we look at other aspects of our sort of finance and operations as well. And customer service is another big area that we looked at. I'd say from a client's perspective, I was just talking to one of our sellers, and we have all the largest enterprise clients, banking, insurance, telco, public sector, automotive, et cetera. So, companies you recognize around here, Pacific Care, Farmers Insurance, AAA, certain state governments. Everyone's trying to figure out how to use the AI technology, but do it in a very safe way because it's, they don't want to take any risks, especially in regulatory. When we talk to our regulatory customers like banks and insurance companies, they're extremely nervous about using this that could impact their reputation. You come out with a bad decision for your clients, it costs millions of dollars. How do you tell them, well, it was made by a black box, if you don't know how they came up with the answer. So really internal use cases we're seeing a lot of. I'd say content generation has been a big focus. So how do you generate an RFP very easily, when you're looking for a new supplier or vendor? We're seeing a lot of those kinds of capabilities. The HR example, the customer service example, this assistant chatbot, based focus. Anything that can make it easy for people to reduce friction and get the information without having to find somebody. I'd say those are the low-hanging fruit that a lot of our clients are interested in. And one of the things that's fascinating to us is our clients are interested in our LM technology, but also having the choice of using a Hugging Face or Mistral or Llama or Anthropic, whoever it might be.
The days of going all big blue are not, those are long past us.
We haven't been all big blue for a long time. Again, our biggest partners are, you think of historically competitors, but AWS, Google, Microsoft, we partnered with SAP for a long time, Oracle. So all of the major, hyperscalers and enterprise software companies we work with as well.
Okay, so I'm going to change gears a little bit and switch away from AI and get to more around media and e-commerce, which is, we're at LA Tech Week. If we don't talk about, media and e-commerce and entertainment, then we're not doing a good job. So I'm going to start with Alessandro, and Alessandro's with TikTok, and you tell us what you do at TikTok and a little bit more about the TikTok shop.
Sure, and first of all, thank you so much for having us, right? Thank you, Mark and Jonathan, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Alessandro. I'm currently leading the TikTok shop e-commerce side of the business for the food and beverage, health and wellness space. First of all, I'm originally from Italy, so if I start talking a little bit too much with my hands, it's all part of the experience. We recently, about a year ago, launched TikTok Shop here in the United States, right? To provide you a bit of more context, we launched initially in China, expanded to Southeast Asia, to the UK, and about 12 months ago, a little over 12 months ago, we opened up to the US, right? So TikTok Shop, in a nutshell, is our new e-commerce platform, which allow users to discover, shop, and purchase products directly on the platform, right? So it's a big milestone because we're not asking the user to now leave the app and go and make a purchase on a third-party website anymore, right? Also to provide you a bit more context, our users in general spend 90 minutes per day on the app, right? So they're watching almost like the length of a movie. So now we're giving brands and creators an opportunity to promote new products, right? To discover new products and make an impulsive purchase right there on the app. And I think this is very where the power of TikTok Shop comes into place, right? On the brand side, I would say the most fascinating thing is the ability to work with creators, right? We made it like very easy for brands, for vendors to discover creators, to leverage creators to produce like sales. And I would say, in my experience, anywhere between 60 to 70% of sales on TikTok Shop are driven by creator-led content, right? So it doesn't matter if you're like a small, medium business, you're like an established like CPG company, if you're like a Coca-Cola, you're going to be successful on TikTok Shop if you work with creators, right? That would be my number one recommendation. I think we made it very easy for brands to access creators. And as a creator standpoint, you can really make like a good like income just by promoting like brand, creating video. It's a new revolution on how entertainment is meeting like shopping, right? So we like to call this one like a new era of shoppertainment.
So I'm going to ask you a question. We didn't plan for it, but I think it is a good segue, and I'm very interested in the answer to this. So I think social media was a big kind of driver for fast fashion. I think you spent time in the fashion industry too, right? Or no?
No, just walking the streets of Milan.
So I'm curious if...
No fashion, but there's somebody on this panel
that blows you away. So, but I'm curious if you have a point of view on this, that with social media, and especially as you connect e-commerce with social media, that in fashion it's obvious, right? Because and it can give you feedback loops on trends so quickly. Are you seeing the same thing as CPG?
Yes, absolutely. We see the same thing on CPG, because at the end of the day, I think like really the number one driver to generate sales it's content, right? And that's like the secret sauce of TikTok Shop. It's the ability to create engaging, entertaining content, right? At the end of the day, why are users keep coming back to our application? Because they want to be entertained, right? So now we're giving like an opportunity for brands to creating like shoppable content, but it still needs to go back to this entertainment element, right? So even if you're like a CPG, a food and beverage, a wellness company, sure like a beauty, but even like electronics, right? As long as you're like able to create the right type of content, you will find like a ton of success. You have to be able to tell like a story, be able to combine elements of storytelling, entertainment, within like a shoppable type of environment, right? And that's why I think like it's not just like limited to fashion and to beauty. Surely those two are going to be like the vertical that always like spearhead e-commerce, always like really like draw like success like on TikTok Shop initially. But now we start seeing like brands on the CPG space, food and beverage, like really going from $0 to $100,000 per day in sales in a matter of weeks.
Are the CPG brands seeing the trends and able to adapt quickly to launch new products and new kind of flavors, whatever, with that?
Yes.
As quickly as fast fashion has been able to do, like Shane?
I think that they're still understanding that like, they can leverage our platform, right? Not only to promote products and like and sell their staple products, but also like to test new products, right? Earlier this year, for example, since we're talking about like flavors, like new flavors, I specifically worked with Coca-Cola on the launch of a new flavor called Coca-Cola Tears of Joy, right? That was like a unique flavor that we launched in the UK and we launched in the United States. Sold out in a matter of a couple of hours, right? And we have some other brands in the space that are replicating the same playbook, right? So it's very easy for brands to test new products, like get like a feeling of the market, is this something that we can actually like scale, right? And with that said, like we haven't mentioned it, like we also have like our own fulfillment solution, right? Like fulfilled by TikTok. We do have like warehouses, we can store products, we can facilitate with the logistics, the shipment. So there's like a lot of like offerings that we can bring to the table to help new brands launching products